brief statement about the game, and we'll get into some questions.
Yeah, I just told our kids in the locker room, they held true to what I talked about all week last week leading the state tournament. This was a group that just refused to give up and had so much fight, stuck together, and ultimately, we battled a team with fantastic basketball players that was on fire in the first half, and just credit to our guys. We could have folded pretty early in the third quarter there when they made a couple baskets to get started, and we got back and cut it to a couple possession game there for a little bit, and that just shows the grit and determination these guys have. And the reality of it is 12 loss season, we're pretty good basketball players too. These guys have done so much to make the community and myself proud. They've got a lot to be really just proud of, and I told them all, make sure you hold your heads high.
Kind of old hat, Ryan, but obviously you guys at one point were 4-9, and what a run. What a big-time run for this ball club, and just turned things completely around to get here to the state championship game. Testament to your players, all of them. They just seem to play so well together, and I watched your team. You weren't afraid to go to your bench. You went up to 8-9 players the entire season, too.
Yeah, we were mixing a lot of kids. I talked to them a little bit ago. Jackson and Logan they've been starting since they were sophomores. Parker and Nate both played as sophomores as well, and it was a year where they probably weren't quite ready, but being from a small school, sometimes you have a class where you don't have a lot of players, and they got thrown to the wolves pretty early. And for them to, as the season went on, accept roles that weren't necessarily leading scorer or the go-to guy, it's a testament to the kind of young men they are, because it's amazing as seniors, all of a sudden these guys are like, I don't want to quit playing. And they were, Coach, we're doing everything we can to win. It doesn't matter who it is. And it was a trust each other and trust yourself motto, from the middle of January on.
Coach, how much was being physical part of your game plan today? Because they went to the free throw line 16 times. You got there 10, made it 4 of 10. They were 14 of 16. And it was a rough physical basketball game. How much was that your plan to go out there and rough them up a little bit?
Yeah, these games at state tournament, typically they let players decide. But we definitely wanted Cam to know we were around. We weren't going to let him cut freely through the lane and play in space. So, physicality is a huge part of what we do, and we thought we could pound the ball inside a little bit, which we did, to take advantage of our size against their size, and ultimately it comes down to maybe the best shooter I've ever seen deciding that he wasn't losing today, and I just you tip your cap to Cam. He's phenomenal.
Ryan, you talked about it already a little bit. Coming out third quarter, you're down at halftime. You probably want to get a good start, but they came out and put you in a bigger hole, but your guys just stayed there. So.
Yeah. We actually talked at halftime a little bit about that. Like, with the media timeout thing, we could kind of divide the game into 4-minute increments, and we talked a lot about it that first media timeout. We didn't have to go on an 8-0. 10-2, 12-4 run to get the game real close. We were just trying to win each 4-minute segment. And obviously that first 4 minutes didn't start out how we wanted, but in the remainder of that third quarter, we did a heck of a job of chipping away, and we were winning those segments. And then I believe we won that first 4 minutes of the fourth quarter too. And Cam just wore us out. Just started imposing his physical will on us, got to the line, and I think he missed 2 free throws tonight, which is pretty crazy, to be honest. He's just he's a complete player.
Ryan, they got 5 threes from guys not named Cam Elward. Do those feel like backbreakers every time they go in when you're kind of trying to live with what you get from Cam, which is a lot?
That's what makes them so good, because they're not backbreakers, because those other guys are really good shooters. Obviously Andrew shoots over 50%. Easton shoots about 40%. that their other guys can make shots, and that's what makes them so hard to guard. And we talked a lot about when do we stunt, how soon do we do it on cam, who are we leaving, when other guys penetrate the rest of the team other than cam, how often are we even helping at all? Are we going to make them shoot twos over us because they're so good at getting to the lane and they kick to shooters, and that's what makes them so hard to guard because they spread you out and are so fundamental doing that. And to hold them under 60, that's hard to do. Ultimately it was a game where we had to play superb offensive basketball, and we weren't quite superb. We were just really good.
Yeah. Owen, could you tell us what this was like for you guys to rise up and get here? What was this like being and living that?
This is probably my favorite basketball experience by far. We've had so much fun getting here, and I'm going to miss playing with all these seniors. I've been playing with them since I was a freshman, and I've gotten really close to all of them. And seeing us succeed like this as a team has been the most fun I've ever had playing basketball, and I wouldn't trade anything for this.
Jackson, you've been there through the good times and the bad times. You end your senior career tonight in the state championship game. Did you ever think, when you're going there through the wars as a sophomore and things weren't going so well, that you'd ever be at this point?
Yeah, I never really imagined us as a senior class going to the state championship, especially after that season. It was kind of rough, but it's awesome this year. So, good group of guys to do it with too.
Oh, and then weren't you the one that hit the shot against Minster?
Yeah.
So you hit the shot against Minster. You hit that one that was a deep three at the top of the key in the first half to kind of blunt them a little bit. Did it run through your mind? There just might be a chance before this thing is over that I get the opportunity to do that again, because I know shooters think about things like that.
Yeah. Well, when I made that three, the only thing I was thinking was we're punching back at them a little bit and we're cutting the lead down. The only thing I really care about is if we win. I don't care if I'm the one doing it, if Jackson, Logan, whoever does it, whoever makes the game-winning shot, as long as we were winning. But sadly, couldn't get that done tonight.
Couple more questions?
Coach Ryan, obviously it's been a long season, but what are some lessons that you want this team and your players to kind of walk away with?
First of all, it doesn't feel long when you're with a group of kids like this. I should say young men. It goes by in a flash because they make it very fun to be around them. And when you have a group of young men like this that are all about team, it makes coaching so fun. And I think the lesson that, and we talked about this is, and I hope that they take it with them as they age, was they learned how to overcome adversity at a pretty young age. And, in the small town we're from, a lot about sports is life lessons as well. And for us to overcome adversity like that, and for them to be able to go back on that as they age and into work, into college, whatever it may be, I think it's a pretty big deal. And I think sometimes that gets lost in sport. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing.
All right, thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
make an opening remark about the game, and then we'll get to some questions.
Yeah. First, this will be the best interview press conference that I'll have ever done in my entire life. One, because of my two sons sitting next to me, but more importantly, their 13 teammates who decided to come and should be here to represent. History was made today. And hopefully we'll elaborate a little bit that as this goes. But what a great high school basketball game that was. Two storied traditions that know each other very, very well. Both teams tough, resilient, senior-led. Both teams have won a lot in multiple sports, and I knew that's what we were going to get today. Was a tough, physical, tightly contested, not one team giving up type of game. What a great atmosphere. I guess that's what you get when you get two Northwest Ohio teams. Small school basketball in the state of Ohio is awesome, and especially in Northwest Ohio. What a great environment for our guys to compete in and then ultimately succeed in. And it's something that they've done all season long. So extremely proud. It's a great day to be a Blue Jay, and it's a great to be a part around these guys who have done so much for our school and our community.
After facing them at the start of the season and knowing what they were doing down the stretch here on that great run to get here, you knew it was going to be a battle with them, obviously.
Yeah, you go into the season, I thought there was 4 really good Division VII teams in Northwest Ohio, and Clyde was one of them. They didn't get off to a great start, but if you went back and look at their schedule, we opened with them, but they had a very, very tough schedule. So when they went on this run, I probably told these guys and I told the coaching staff that I was not shocked because I know how they battle us every time we play them. We actually see them in the summer some. As they kind of got going here, again, we saw the results, as they went in tournament. I was not shocked. Their sophomores have grown up immensely since we played them. Their seniors have led them. That's exactly what I thought we were going to get today from them.
29-0. Aaron, that's been what? Is that a record for you guys? Never been done before?
That's a record.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And to do it with your two sons makes it even more special, right?
Yeah, the 1983 team was 28-0. And I alluded to that talking to our guys about how those 1983 guys, what an unbelievable season. They stay in contact with our players, myself. Such a great group of guys, and I was a very young age, and I can still remember them playing. So, as this thing got closer and closer of all the different emotions and all the thoughts in my head, like to be in the same voice and same conversations with them and their perfect season, is really, it's tough to put into words. I know those guys were rooting for these guys, and to do it on this stage, obviously, to break that record. It was a record-breaking season in a lot of ways, and the record's just one of them.
Coach, I've watched you guys, I feel like, year-round for 3 straight years, actually on this court back in the summer. Yeah. You set such a high standard for the program year-round. Is there anything, now that the journey is complete, that you're looking forward to off the basketball court to celebrate now that you made history, you won the state title, it's over? Yeah,
I'll let you a little bit into our family. So the other day, it would have been Monday or Tuesday, and our daughter Olivia was sitting there on her iPad, and I got home from practice, and Livy wasn't doing a whole lot. And I said, Livy, in about a week from now, you're mine. Alluding to we need to get her in the gym. So I look forward to that. I obviously look forward to being around Addie more, and then obviously my wife, Chris, is where all my mind will go right away. It'd be tough to come off this emotional high for sure, but, more family time and hang around, obviously, with my sons a little bit and hopefully around these guys. And a lot of them play baseball. These guys play baseball, so I'll enjoy some baseball as well.
Cam, 2 years ago, the injury versus PG. Last year, that tough loss to Arlington. Now that you're sitting here today, do you believe all that adversity was necessary to motivate you guys to put together this 29-0 season?
Yeah, no doubt. I've had a lot of people tell me that all things happen for a reason, and I truly believe that. God had a plan for us and for me, and it just showed today. I'm extremely blessed. I'm so proud of our guys that we got to experience this.
I'm going to say, Aaron, we talk about throughout the entire season, just how great of a year it's been these few years, just the shooting percentages that you guys have put up. And obviously put it on display today as well, just an overall excellent way to cap it.
Yeah, there's a process to this sport. It's a skilled sport. If you don't put time in, with your teammates, if you don't put time in on your own, meaningful time, typically it doesn't bode well for you. And this group has put in a bunch of time together individually with our coaching staff, and for them to reap the benefits of that and trusting the process and trusting the work when nobody's in the gym, such a great experience for them. And they'll always be remembered for their hard work and dedication paying off.
Aaron, you wrote at least a paragraph for me yesterday when you told me that yesterday was a testament of what your team is outside of what Cam is.
Yeah.
Because today he didn't have the greatest day of shooting the three, but Easton hit a couple.
Yep.
Andrew hit one. I think Tice hit one.
Yep.
And you still shot nearly 50% from three-point range today. And it wasn't his best day,
Yep.
but team-wise.
Yeah. Well, you certainly don't get to be 29-0 and be a state champion by being a one-trick pony. Cameron gets a lot of accolades and deservingly so, but one thing I told these guys for a long time, it's about, your teammates and them getting better, you trusting them, being confident in their ability, and then for the other guys to respond to that and be able to be confident in the moment. Again, all these guys have put time in. They just have, and there's big sacrifices that go on into a season that we had, and that's talked about a lot. It's a testament to them. It's a testament how they've been raised in their family, to understanding and embracing their roles for the betterment of our success. And you could go through individuals last year, this year, who made big shots at big times in huge games. And I know you alluded to a few of them today, but I don't want to forget any of them, but they were critical in so many different ways. Not just making shots, but, rebounding the basketball, taking care of the basketball. We talk about playing off 2 feet so much and making the right play. It's a unit. It's a together deal to get this done.
For all of you guys, what about the defensive side of things for you guys? I mean, the offense gets all the shot making, gets all the publicity.
Yep.
But if we could, all three of you just address what the defense means for you guys.
Yeah, we understood that offense isn't always going to be the top of our game. We're not going to make every shot. We're going to have bad shooting nights, but defensively we can't waver there. We had a tough talk after the Bath game, and I think, all of our guys embraced that, and we practiced that, and we preached that the last how many weeks, and it showed in this tournament run. I don't know how many points we gave up altogether, but it can't be that many.
Andrew?
Yeah, Coach Odenweiler said in the after the game that our defense, that the coaches had a meeting and they talked about our defense and how we were struggling. And everybody looked the coaches in the eye and said, okay, like we're gonna fight. And that's just a testament to all of our players, and that's just so cool that we all, sat down and played defense.
Yeah, they said it well. There were some tough conversations. We were really transparent with this group. They're mature, they're smart, and we just felt late in the year like we were letting our guard down, and we kind of had the approach at times that we were going to outscore you, and they were not wrong, but we also thought like if we were going to try to get this thing done, like we need to individually and team-wise guard better and rebound better. And again, as we brought that up as a staff, our guys took to it, and through, like Cameron said, I don't know what we gave up per game, in this tournament run, but it's not many. And if we do that, we are a tough guard that, to kind of hold us under that number was going to be very difficult for our opponents. So true testament, our guys, our staff, we went back to the basics. That wasn't a fun week, but that's why we're still sitting here today.
Cameron, you spent 2 summers playing next to Ben Murgon. Andrew, you spent last summer playing next to Landon Evans. Either you guys have any predictions for the 7:30 p.m. game at Wright State?
I'm gonna roll with the Jags. We got a couple ties there with Coach Norris. He coached him, and it was kind of a full circle moment when I decided to join Midwest, and he coached me. He's a great coach. He'll rep you when you're not there, and I think that was good that I got to experience that with those group of guys, and I got the Jags.
Yeah, Landon Evans is a great player, and I think that we got ties with the Jaguars, so I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
I'm saying you'd rather be Aaron in your shoes right now than Brett Norris in his.
100%.
100%. But, Cam, I want you to tell me a little bit about Owen, because there were times today where you just felt like he was making some shots that, man, I hope he doesn't make those like all afternoon long, because this could get interesting. He's a great competitor, obviously. And I know you know him.
Yeah.
So what's his makeup like as a competitor?
Yeah, Owen and I are, I wouldn't say we're great friends off the court, but, you know, when we see each other, we'll say hi and say what's up. But credit to him, he had a great night, and he's had a great tournament run. He's hit 2 game winners, and that's just a credit to his hard work and dedication towards the game. I have a lot of respect for him and his dad, and wish him the best of luck in his future.
Aaron,
Yep.
obviously you guys are state champions, but what do you want people to remember about the 2025-2026 St. John's Blue Jays team?
Yeah, that's a loaded question, but a great question. It's as tough, resilient, mentally tough, intelligent, together group that I've ever coached. And I've been fortunate enough to be here for a while now and coach some really good groups. It's a group that takes hard coaching. It's a group that embraces their role. It's a group that understands the ability of how hard this sport is, and if you don't work at it on your own and really go to work, it typically doesn't, it doesn't pay off in the long run. But I told them the number one thing that I'm going to remember most is their ability to handle the expectations, the pressure, from the end result to last year to us, keep winning. And it was never talked about. I guess I always err on, I don't want to bring some things up and cloud their mind. That's how I think. How they did that, I learned so much from this group that is going to make me a better coach, going to make me a better dad, make me a better human, because they were as tough and could block out the targets that were on our back every single night. So just their resiliency and toughness is the biggest thing I'll never forget. Yep.
And for Cam, 4 years, you cap off your high school career as a state champion. You share this with your dad, your brother. Your brother's right here too. Can you kind of put into words what that has meant to you as you prepare for the next chapter of your basketball career?
Yeah, it's hard to put it in words. It seems like this is what we've worked for our whole lives, and to kind of experience it now, it's truly a blessing. I'm just so proud of our guys and the hard work that they put in, all the tough coaching, all the tough teammate-to-teammate conversations that I've had with them. But I just really wanted them to win so bad. I love them boys so much, and I'm just so happy that we got to experience this, and it makes it a lot easier that my career is coming to end, winning this game, and so yeah.
Aaron, you kind of joined a fraternity, Bob Arnson and Brett Norris, as the coaches have brought home state titles to St. John's. Just talk about kind of joining that fraternity of,
Yeah, it's surreal. As I grew up, I went to Coach Arnson's basketball camps and got to know him. He retired right as I was getting into high school, so I never had the opportunity to play for him. And obviously his resume and his Hall of Fame career, our gym is named after him. His family, who lives farther away, are great supporters and came to a lot of our games. Surreal. Coach Norris, is why I'm here. It's why I'm doing what I'm doing. When he came to Delva St. John's, I was a freshman, and I took to him like no other. It was a unique bond in a way. His preparation, his work ethic, his passion and love for competing struck a chord with me. And I am ever indebted to him. He still helps me. He is still a huge supporter of Delta St. John's from afar. I love that guy. He is why I'm here. So to be mentioned with Coach Arns and Coach Norris. You know, I've never really thought of that until you asked, Gary, and maybe I'll think about that a little bit more as we get going here. But what a cool day today is, and those two guys are Hall of Fame guys and two of the best coaches to ever do it.
We're gonna take one final question after this one.
Guys, perfect season on the court. I'm just curious for each of you, did that also translate to the perfect season off the court in terms of enjoying the ride and taking in the moments as they come and appreciating everything that you've achieved along the way?
Yeah, for sure. I enjoyed this season as much as any season before. To spend it with my guys, the people that I've grown up with, and my brothers and my dad. I understand that not many people get this opportunity. I try to make the most of it, even on the tough practice days, the tough games, the tough losses. I did try to enjoy it, and I'm so glad that I got to experience all this with all these people.
Yeah, this is something that I'll miss forever. Like, these seniors, they're all my best friends, and I'm gonna miss them. It was so fun to play with them in camp. Obviously, it's sad to know that we're not gonna play anymore, but the workouts, the practices, something I'll remember forever.
Well said, Andrew. Yeah, I've had several people tell me, Coach, you got to really have fun and enjoy the moment. It's really hard as a head coach. I guess how my mind works. I would take moments throughout the week and try to enjoy it. But I think my job, our staff's job, is to always get us ready for the next game and the next battle, because I think that's what they want. And that's where my mind has always been. Having the unique opportunity to coach 3 sons, a couple nephews, and some great guys in our program. I will look back, starting now, at how much fun this journey was. We had a little slogan, and I'm not a slogan guy, to enjoy the journey. And about middle of December into September, I really started to enjoy the journey as our guys started to really grow up and take to what we were trying to get done. These guys have a unique bond that they will never, ever get rid of. And it could not have ended any better. And sometimes life does not work out that way, but today it did. And it'll go down as one of the best days of my entire life.
One last question. This is for Andrew and Coach Elwer. You got 8 great seniors. Who are you going to miss the most?
I'd say for sure Ian. I'd say for sure Ian.
Ian's a good answer. He obviously, I told him as I gave him multiple hugs, he's the number one guy. Our crowd's been awesome and been loud for a number of years now. But Ian takes things to another level. Ian is an awesome, awesome kid, and he deserves it. The senior I'm going to miss the most, Braden. It's a tough question. I'm going to miss every single one of you. I'm going to take the easy way out. You all are unique. You all are different. You have all done something great for this program and our school and our community. And you've done something really, really cool, selfishly, for myself and our family, that I'll ever be indebted to you guys. So I'm going to miss every single one of you.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right. Good job. Yep.